afternoon, everyone. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Welcome aboard, guys. The Stretford Post gravy train. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Good morning, good evening, good night, this evening, whatever, guys, whatever, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. You're absolute legends, of course, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Of course, as ever, guys. Now, let's get straight into a bit of news about Man United. And of course, we are in countdown now to the transfer window. The transfer window will be opening in literally a week, guys. A week. Can you believe it, guys? A week, the transfer window will be opening. I cannot believe it. I don't know how you feel about it, but you know what? It's going to be in education, what I say. It's going to be an insight into what Ineos really feel about investing in Ruben Amorim and the football club. Of course, we know they got to invest because other teams are going to invest, guys. And I'm going to get into some reasons why they need to invest. And guys, it's going to be a shocker. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. Let's get straight into the transfer news in regards surrounding Manchester United at the moment. Marco Palestra. Marco Palestra is a Calgary player who currently plays in Serie A. He's a right back, right midfielder, and left midfielder. So obviously fits the bill perfectly for Ruben Amorim in regards to those wing back positions. Marco Palestra has burst onto the scene only recently, whilst he was at Atalanta, signed to Calgary, and he's really gone leaps and bounds since then. Arsenal, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona are interested in Marco Palestra. Now, Marco Palestra is negotiating a new contract with Cagliari at the moment. However, he is a free agent in 2026 as we currently stand because his contract expires. This has alerted many clubs around Europe for the talented player. Of course, only a young player, guys, and a player that Man United are heavily interested in and admire, of course, guys. Marco Palestra, of course, a new one off the name of the block, of course, guys. So look out for that one. Right back, right midfielder, left midfielder, of course, very, very capable player. Valued at 25 million. So considering that his contract is expiring in June 2026, 25 million just goes to show you how highly they rate this player, of course, guys. Arsenal, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, amongst many others, including Como, of course, guys, are interested in Marco Palestra, of course, guys. So it does look like Man United want to shore up that right wing back position, the left wing back position. They are looking to find players who can play in various positions, midfield, right wing back, left back, attacking, wingers, everything, all in one, all rolled into one, trying to kill more birds with one stone, of course, guys. That is how Man United are trying to do things at the moment, considering how weak our squad is in particular at this very moment in time. My guess is that Marco Palestra will be a signing in the summer, but obviously Man United can try and entice Marco Palestra and, of course, Cagliari to do business in January, as many clubs are going to be after Marco Palestra's signature in the summer, considering he's going to be a free agent, guys. So maybe we move quickly. Maybe we get the groundwork done early and we get this player in. Maybe we do that. A very good player, very talented Italian under-21 international, of course, guys. Now, look, you know, when I have these names, I mention these names. Look, you know, these names are names that are interested, Man United are interested in. And yeah, that's great. You know, I just really hope that this comes to fruition and that we get these players through the door and we get these players in, you know, quickly as possible because we need it. And the games are coming thick and fast, and our squad is pretty weak at the moment considering the amount of injuries. We've got 8 first-team injuries at the moment, which is absolutely ridiculous. You know, it just seems like we can't catch a break when it comes to injuries, etc. But again, Marco Palestra, Manchester United in January. Will Man United do a deal for that? But could wait to the summer to do a free transfer when Arsenal, Chelsea, Bayern, Barca are all interested in this player, which will be incredibly risky and difficult to acquire in the summer, of course. He's free in 2026. Contract expires June 2026, of course. Another player, interest Man United, is a name. Honest. I'm being honest, guys. His name's Honest Ahanor. Honest Ahanor is a player who currently plays for Atalanta, a product of Genoa. He is a 17-year-old centre-back, left-back, and left midfield. Again, the same sort of, the same sort of ilka player, can play there. Very, very versatile. Again, centre-back, left midfielder, Atalanta player valued at around 25 million. Honest Ahonor is also being scouted by Real Madrid. So that just goes to show you the talent of this lad. He is a very talented individual, only 17 years old, of course, guys. So you know what? He's quite obviously incredibly talented and incredibly has an incredible future ahead of him, of course, guys. 17 years old, centre-back, left-back, and left midfield, Atalanta player. Product of Genoa, of course. We all know Genoa. Do you know why Genoa? Roberto Baggio, wasn't it? 25 million, and Real Madrid guys are interested in him. So if Man United again want to do this deal, they're going to have to act sharpest, and they're going to have to get the groundwork done as quickly as humanly possible, guys. And that is what Man United should be doing anyway. We should be really, really concentrating on getting these deals done and getting them done quickly, of course, guys. Absolutely. Now, another player we all have heard of, many of us, we've spoken about him a number of times, is Ousmane Diomande. Now, Ousmane Diomande plays for Sporting Lisbon, a former player of Ruben Amorim, of course. Man United are still very, very interested in Ousmane Diomande. He's valued at 45 million. A little bit steep for me in regards to just the centre-back. I don't think Man United should be shoring up the centre-back position for that price. I think the money can be reinvested elsewhere, if you know what I mean. And if Man United want to get another centre-back, they should try and get Gui at the end of the season, because Gui will be on a free transfer, of course. The only problem, again, is teams that are going to be after Gui, teams that are going to be vying for Gui's signature. Real Madrid are interested again in Gui, isn't it? But Ousmane Diomande, Ruben Amorim has demanded Manchester United try and work out a deal for Ousmane Diomande. He apparently fits the bill in regards to what Ruben Amorim wants. Very powerful, strong defender. Obviously, Ruben Amorim knows him very, very well, having coached him under Sporting Lisbon, the championship winning side of Sporting Lisbon, of course. He's an Ivory Coast international with only 9 caps for Ivory Coast, quite surprisingly. Still a young lad, of course. But Ousmane Diomande, Sporting Lisbon, being linked to Man United again. 45 million euros, guys. As I said there again, it's a little bit steep in regards to that. I don't think Man United should really be looking at shoring up that defense for that price. Anyway, guys. Now, in regards to Antoine Semenyo, of course, there's been really strong rumours about Antoine Semenyo and Manchester United. Whatever we think about it, he's still a very talented player. I believe that Man United should shore up the positions that they need to shore up first in regards to midfield, and then we should go after Antoine Semenyo, in my opinion. Antoine Semenyo is a generational talent, only 25 years old, at the peak of his powers, playing in the Premier League. Absolutely incredible player. Now, some people are going to throw out there, but Sal, he's only had one good season. He's actually having a good season this season as well, and he's actually doing very well. My biggest argument would be why would we sign Semenyo ahead of a midfielder, for example, an Anderson, a Wharton, or someone of that ilk? Because, we need midfielders, and we need to show up the engine of the team, because the midfield is the engine of the team, of course, guys. And buying another attacker, it just doesn't seem right, unless Semenyo was going to be used as a left wing back, which isn't his position, of course, guys. So this could be an argument that, to behold, this could be a stumbling block in regards to the Semenyo deal. Now, as I discussed about a week ago about Semenyo, Liverpool are very interested in Antoine Semenyo. Liverpool are heavily interested in Antoine Semenyo. And at the time when I was speaking, Liverpool were favourites to sign Antoine Semenyo. What is the advantage for Liverpool? Well, not many advantages for me. If I speak about Liverpool, I can say lots of disadvantages. But if he was going to go to Liverpool, obviously Liverpool can give him that right wing position, and Man United cannot. And that is basically what it is. But then I look at Liverpool and I think, right, okay, does that mean that Mohamed Salah is going to be leaving the football club? Because if that means if somehow Salah going to leave in the football club, Antoine Semenyo will slot right in there at the end of the season, in the summertime when they were signing him, of course, guys. But Antoine Semenyo to Liverpool, playing on the right-hand side of Liverpool's midfield, attacking side, of course, will attract Antoine Semenyo. Man United cannot attract Antoine Semenyo in that position. We've got Cunha, we've got Embremo. Bruno could play there as well. Obviously, if Bruno stays. And we are playing wing backs. And I don't think that Antoine Semenyo is going to want to play the wing-back position, if I'm being totally honest with you guys. As much as he might do a job there, I don't think he wants to play that. I've heard he doesn't want to play that position, but it is what it is. And we're going to have to fight it out. If Man United truly want Antoine Semenyo, and I said it in the show this week, guys, I said it at the beginning of the show, if Man United truly want Antoine Semenyo right now, they're going to have to do the deal in January. They're going to have to do the deal in January if they want him, because Liverpool are going to come in and Liverpool are going to try and still him up, try and entice him with the position thing and stuff like that. That's what they're going to try and do. So if Man United truly want him, I back Man United and I say, yeah, okay, if he's the man for you, get him, because at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim needs to be backed. And you know what? We need players in January anyway, with the AFCON going on, with Mbeumo, with Cunha, with Ahmad, and Mazraoui as well, of course, guys. So we do need players coming in quickly and fast, of course, with our squad absolutely to the bare bones at the moment, guys. Speaking of bare bones, Zirkzee, of course, bare bones appearances. Hasn't had many appearances over this last season, of course, guys. Not been favoured by Ruben Amorim. Actually was one of the last players to come on against Aston Villa, of course. Even though we needed a goal, he was one of the last players to come on against Aston Villa, which, you know what, goes to show you a lot. It was very, very telling that, of course, guys. Zirkzee is heavily linked with a move to Serie A. One of the teams he's linked with is Roma. Now, of course, I'm in Italy at the moment. I'm hearing various sounds, various noises about Zirkzee going to Roma and stuff. So what do I think of that? I just don't know if Man United are going to pull the deal, do the deal. Roma want him on a loan with an obligation. Man United want a full deal, of course. And that is absolutely right. Man United should not be doing any more loans with obligations, because at the end of the day, and what's the point? You know, we need him. We need the biggest squad as we could possibly muster. At the moment, our squad is very, very weak. We know our squad is very weak. So we can't be loaning players out. It just doesn't make any sense for us. The only way Man United are going to get any players out the door if those players are permanent deals on a cash fee and stuff like that. Of course, Man United need to raise some cash, of course. We need to make some money, of course, because we need to bring in players. And Ruben Amorim needs to build his own team, guys. And Zirkzee is one of those players. I like him. I think he's a great personality. I just don't think he fits into the Man United or the Premier League, to be honest with you. I think he's more of a Serie A player. Of course, was one of Serie A players of the year when he was playing for Bologna, and he got Bologna to the Champions League. Of course, who does that? I mean, at the end of the day, Bologna are not one of those teams who qualify for the Champions League, of course, guys, even when they had Roberto Baggio and players of that ilk, guys. Zirkzee, of course, is a very, very good player, but I think he suits a certain league. And this is one thing I would like to touch on, because obviously there were the comments from Antonio Conte about why McTominay and Rasmus didn't do well. And why is that? There's a simple reason. Serie A is not as good as the Premier League. Premier League's an elite league, a very difficult league, and not many players make it in the Premier League. It's do or die in the Premier League. Every single game you play in the Premier League is a difficult game. You know, there are no categories in the Premier League, guys. We can have from Newcastle, we can go to Liverpool, then we can go to Man City and Chelsea, and Arsenal and Tottenham. You know, there's so many difficult games in the Premier League. I haven't even mentioned the likes of Brighton away and teams of that ilk, Everton away, and these teams, you know what I mean, that are incredibly difficult. The Premier League is difficult. That is the answer to it. Look, I am so happy for Rasmus. I'm chuffed for Scott McTominay, but obviously the noises are going to be coming out. Obviously, why didn't they do Man United? They had their chance. And that's it. I don't want to hear why they didn't do Man United. They're doing well where they are. Fair play to them. Carry on doing your thing. And that's what it's all about. And maybe, just maybe, this is what Zirkzee needs to do. This is probably what Kobbie Mainoo needs to do. Obviously, Kobbie Mainoo's been linked to a move to Napoli, guys. And I think that would be a great move for Kobbie Mainoo. If Kobbie Mainoo has any aspirations in getting into Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad, I would go to Napoli. If I was him, I would go to Napoli and I would try and seek first team football. That's what I would do. Absolutely 100%. Because at the end of the day, you're going to go to a league, you're going to reunite with Rasmus Højlund, and you're going to reunite with Scott McTominay. And you know what? It's a good opportunity for you guys. Napoli are fast becoming Manchester United 2.0, isn't it, at the moment, guys? Absolutely. But if I was him, I would. The biggest problem Man United are caught between a hard place and a stone and a hard place, of course. Man United have a double-edged sword, which means that basically We have the AFCON going on, and Man United are very reluctant to get rid of any players. They don't want to get rid of anyone at the moment because it is very difficult to replace those players right now. And obviously, with the AFCON coming out, we got big games coming up as well, thick and fast, guys. We've got Newcastle coming up next game, obviously Wolves, and then we've got Man City coming up, which is a massive game. We've got Leeds United away. We all know how Leeds United are playing at the moment. Won 4-1 the other day, of course, guys. Absolutely phenomenal performance the other day. And also we got Arsenal coming back up on the 24th of January as well. So we got some very, very difficult games to come up, guys. And we're gonna need every single player in our squad, guys. We're gonna need every single player in our squad. So this makes me think that this is why Ruben Amorim was getting through some of those youngsters onto the pitch, getting them some minutes so they can help out with the hectic schedule that is going to be coming up thick and fast, of course, guys. And guys, look, we got massive games, and this can be the difference between Man United qualify for the Champions League and not qualify for the Champions League. We already missed Mazraoui. Mazraoui would have played against Aston Villa, 100%. Mazraoui would have played against Aston Villa. And on that side, Mazraoui probably would have done a job on Rodgers, and Man United would have probably won the game against Aston Villa. This is the difference. This is the fine margins that I was talking about earlier, guys. You know what I mean? Our squad is weak. Of course it is. But I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. As I said in my short video earlier on, I'm not going to throw any players under the bus. Absolutely not. That's not how we do things, of course, guys. Let me just say hello to the community. Of course, guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome aboard, everyone. Hope everyone is blessed. Good to see you. Ephraim, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Very well. Thank you for asking. I'm good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing blessed. Big up, my friend Bobby. How you doing, you legend? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hello, Sal. I hope you're well. Very well. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing good. Big up, Danny B. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you again, my guy. Hope everything is blessed with you. Bobby. Filthy rat, Glazers and Ratcliffe won't spend in January. They are horrid, vile people. I hope I'm wrong, and they spend big. I really hope so, Bobby. I mean, I'm hearing lots of news about Man United and what they're going to do in January, the players that are coming up, rumors that are circulating around. Over here as well, by the way, Bobby, where I am in Italy, it's rumors are circulating day by day about Man United. Man United are the talk of the town at the end of the day. We're always the talk of the town, to be honest with you, Man United. But you're absolutely right, Bobby. You know, you can't trust something you don't know. You can't trust something you don't know. You can't walk into hell with the blindfold, can you? And expect not to get burned at the end of the day. What we have to understand is to say, okay, we're linked to these players. We're linked to Semenyo. We're linked to the players that I've mentioned today, you know, but let's see what they do. Let's see what happens in January. There are a few people out there that just want to be proven right, and they just want to support Ineos regardless, blindly, you know what I mean? And they don't want to be proven wrong in regards to Ineos. Now, if Ineos do not spend in January, guys, considering that there's a World Cup coming up at the end of the season, and many of the players that we are being linked to will be playing in the World Cup, and some of those players might have a very good World Cup, and their price will shoot up through the roof, wouldn't it? At the end of the day. So, guys, look, we need to get business done, some business done in January, really do, because at the end of the day, it can only benefit us, guys. We need to stop thinking about there's no value in the market. You know, we're going to wait until the summer. We've heard that old chestnut before. We've heard what they said last January, that they're going to kill it in the summer window. And we got a 4 out of 10 window. You know what I mean? So we need to hope that we do business in January and we give Ruben Amorim the best opportunity possible to get into that Champions League position, because we're 3 points behind, obviously, Liverpool and Chelsea, of course, guys. So we need to do something in January at least, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Bobby, my friend, of course. Ransom Bands, I said Ruben Amorim isn't getting the best out of Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee needs to get the best out of Joshua Zirkzee. It is a combination of things. It's a collaboration. It's not one player needs to get the best out of him. Do you think Eric Cantona? Do you think Alex Ferguson needed to get the best out of Eric Cantona? Do you think Alex Ferguson needed to get the best out of Roy Keane? Do you think Alex Ferguson needed to get the best out of David Beckham? Absolutely not. Ruben Amorim is a manager of Man United. He sets the team out to play, and it's up to those players to deliver. If you are a talented player, you deliver. At the end of the day, at the moment, he's not delivering. And I'm not only talking about, scoring goals and assisting goals. I'm talking about the basics here. I'm talking about getting the ball, passing the ball, breaking the lines, running with the ball. Simple things, guys, that a simple footballer should be able to do at the end of the day. And he's not being able to do that. So is that Ruben Amorim's fault? Anything to beat Ruben Amorim with a stick with, that's exactly what it is, guys. Maybe he got beaten with a stick when he was younger. I don't know. But he's beating everyone else with a stick at the moment, guys. And a lot of these content creators are, because they want to be proven right. And a lot of them are exposing themselves during this period right now Yeah, I mean, they're exposing themselves as very, very dead ball knowledge individuals who don't really have a clue about football, and they don't, right? And I would prove them, every single one of them, wrong. At the end of the day, I like Zirkzee. I think he's a fantastic personality. He makes me laugh. I like him watching his interviews and stuff like that. But we have to be honest with ourselves. There's a reason he didn't make it at Bayern Munich, right? And there's a reason he ended up at Bologna, okay? Whether we signed him was the right decision or not the right decision, guys, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It hasn't worked out. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up, just like I said earlier, Samuel. And you have to hold your hands up and say, do you know what? It just hasn't worked out. Just like Juan Sebastian Veron, just didn't work out. Just like Memphis Depay, just didn't work out. You know what I mean? Di Maria, just didn't work out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. And Man United's environment at the moment in regards to the toxicity around the football club, which is not caused by Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim is trying to delete that at the moment, by the way. It's caused by the board, and it's caused by Ineos, and it's caused by the Glazers. It's incredibly even more difficult to perform at this football club. You've seen it with Mbeumo over the last few games. We all know how great Mbeumo is. We all know that Mbeumo is a fabulous player. We all know that he's going to be a generational player for Man United. But look at the last few games, how difficult it has been for him. He can't even do the basics. And we know when we were playing against Mbeumo last season, against Brentford, he was an absolute nightmare to mark. You know what I mean? So this is what we're talking about, this football club. Ruben Amorim needs to fix the culture and the toxicity at the football club. The survival of the fittest here. It's the survival of the fittest. Those who are ready to grasp in the opportunity, those who are ready to prove the haters wrong, go and do it. And I believe in them. If you're weak, you're weak. At the end of the day, we come from a generation, guys, where people are just not accountable for themselves. They don't look at the man in the mirror. They just blame. It's a blaming culture, and this blaming culture needs to stop at Man United. We've got too much blame. It's his fault. It's his fault. I don't like going home in the dark. The training is too hard. We're being trained too hard. We're being trained too soft. Every single time there's an excuse, it's always someone else's fault. It's always someone else's fault. Rashford blaming him. Anthony blaming him. Rasmus blaming him. Everyone's blaming each other. It's just one big circle of blame when they're not blaming the most important person, which is themselves, guys. At the end of the day, players take accountability. Do you think, guys, let me give you an example about this, right? When Hristo Stoichkov was playing for Bulgaria, those who know who Hristo Stoichkov was, he was a player who played for Barcelona. Hristo Stoichkov played at Bulgaria, right? The Bulgaria team is not the best team in the world. They've done very well in the 1994 World Cup. They've got a couple of players, Lechkov as well, was a very good player. But why does Hristo Stoichkov perform at Bulgaria? Why do you think he performs? Bad players all around him, bad manager, but he performs. Why is that? Because he's a great player. Great players perform in any system. Great players perform with any manager. They still perform. At the end of the day, guys, they still perform. Like Real Madrid, right? You can have John Toshak in as a manager, or you can have Zinedine Zidane as the manager. Players still perform. Morientes will still perform. Raiola will still perform. Roberto Carlos will still perform. Redondo will still perform. They will all still perform. And that's what I'm talking about here. And we're coming from a world where every single one just wants to blame everyone but themselves, you know? Big up, Samuel. Big up yourself. Big up, Donin. What's going on, my friend? Hope we were. Looks like the only movement will be Gallagher after the AFCON. Maybe midfield it in. Semenyo not coming. Maybe not. Maybe. We don't know that. You don't know that, Donin. We have to wait and see. Big up, my friend Helge. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Guys, hope you're doing good. Yes, I did see it. Liverpool, I knew that. I said it a week ago, Helge, about Liverpool. Guys, in regards to that. But obviously, Man United is still in there with a push. Man United is still in there with a shout in regards to that. Big up, Helge. Hope you're well, my friend. Helge, Manchester United pushing and ready to even change the system if they can convince Semenyo. Nah, that's just lies. That's just lies. That's not true. He doesn't know that. That's not true. What's your thoughts on it? It's not true. Simple as that. It's just made up news. Man United will not change their system for Semenyo. And what they're going to change their system to? Can someone explain to me what they're going to change their system to? Helge, look at this, right? Man United have Cunha and Mbeumo, right? When the AFCON finishes, Man United have Cunha and Mbeumo, okay? So one of them is going to be dropped out of the team. So Cunha, Mbeumo, or Bruno will be out of the team. If Man United play a 4-3-3, Semenyo's not a centre midfielder, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to have Cunha, Embuemo, Semenyo, and Bruno. And Sesko's there, by the way. So what we're going to do, we're going to drop Sesko. So I want to know what we're going to do with that. This is the thing about some of these journalists who just like to sensationalize news to get clicks. And even Fabrizio, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And yeah, doesn't make any sense, mate. Doesn't make any sense. Carefree Lewis and Rance and Barnes said Ruben Amorim should be playing wingers at Manchester United. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. They should be looking after their kids. Helge, good evening, Sal. Good to see you again. Good to see you again, Kenny. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed with you. Helge, always brings me in a good mood to watch your shows and see you again. Big up. Good to see you again, Helge. Always good to see you as well, mate. Always, mate. At the end of the day, Zirkzee is world class when football is played in slow mo. Exactly. Yeah, he's got the headphones on when he plays. He's a funny guy. He's too slow for the Premier League, in my opinion. That's just the way it is, guys. I think he'd be absolutely brilliant in the Serie. India should sell Nice to Tony Khan and AU. Though, yeah, look. They are going to sell Nice eventually. I do believe that they will sell Nice, and they should have done it a long time ago. They flopped at Nice. They flopped. Just like Lausanne, who are in the Swiss second division, of course, they flopped at Lausanne, you know, and they ain't really got a record to be proud of when it comes to football. They haven't, unfortunately. And they're partly responsible for the biggest club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Do you know what I mean? Did Stoichkov play in midfield? Yes, he did, Samuel. But he didn't play with Pep at Bulgaria, did he? This is what we're talking about. Great players. And I'm just using Hristo Stoichkov as an example, right? Because I have that knowledge of football, unlike the guys you've mentioned, right? When you think about Hristo Stoichkov, I'm bringing that player in because obviously it's an example of what great players do. Great players can play in a very average team, but make the difference, right? They make the difference. Dimitrescu, who played for Romania, made a difference. You know, Georgi Hagi made the difference. Now, obviously, this is not the Balkan show. I'm not going, obviously, Romania and Bulgaria and stuff like that. But I can talk about loads of countries around Europe who one player will make the difference. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, great players make a difference. And that's what it is at the end of the day, you know, guys. And, you know, the thing is, what we got to get away from this generation of blame. Blame. At the end of the day, right? The system's not a problem. We dominate Aston Villa. You don't dominate Aston Villa if you've got a poor system, right? We were 2 worldies away from winning that game, you know. And as look, guys, I listened to obviously the AFTV, and obviously I listened to Don Robbie, and guys, and he actually spoke a lot more sense than a lot of Man United fans, right? He said Man United dominated the game, and it was Morgan Rogers 2, Man United 1. That's what it was. And he was complimenting the way that Man United played. He was complimenting the way that Man United controlled the game, and absolutely right. And you know what? That just goes to show you, right, that, you know, sometimes our own fan base are our own worst enemy, in my opinion. We're our own worst enemy. I do believe that, and we're just there to just prove people wrong. And you know, it's just a continuation, a domino effect of negativity. And you know what I would say? We're nowhere near where we want to be. We should not be losing games. I understand that. I'm a Man United fan 40 years. I understand not losing games is important, but not many people are putting into mind, or they're not taking into account the surrounding factors around what's going on at the moment. You know, everyone just wants to pick at every single thing to beat Ruben Amorim with, and that is the problem with. Let's sack Ruben Amorim. By all means, sack him. Sack him, guys. Sack him. Let's do it. Come on, because at the end of the day, these people seem to think that if you're sacking him again, just like they said with Eric Ten Hag, it's all going to get better all of a sudden, isn't it? It's all going to get better. Let's bring in whoever is going to bring in, whoever's the next new kid on the block. Let's get Areola, guys. Let's get him in. You know what I mean? Let's do that with him, who hasn't won in 7 odd games. Let's do that, guys. Let's get Unai Emery at Man United. Why don't we do that? Because at the end of the day, everyone seems to think that they know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. At the end of the day, all I care about is Man United being successful. I don't care about who's in charge, who does this, I just care about Man United doing this, working these old things at the end of the season, doing this. That's all I care about. But I know I'm looking at things objectively, right? And I'm looking at things realistically, right? And I'm going by past evidence that sacking Ruben Amorim is only going to set Man United back. I guarantee you, we'll be here in a year. And then after that, we'll be here in another year. After that, we'll be here in another year. And we'll all be old and grey. Now, I've got a few more greys on my head since Man United last won the league. I don't want any more greys on my head. I'm sorry. You guys might like seeing me grey, you know what I mean, with the George Clooney look and all that. But I do not want the greys on my head. Thank you very much. I want to see Man United win a title. But we keep going 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's what I said. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's what we keep doing. Unfortunately, you know, these fans don't understand what it takes to reach standards. They talk about standards. They are just sound bites for them. They're just sound bites. They talk about standards, but they don't understand what it takes to get to standards. What does it take to get to standards? What does it take to get to that position? What does it take? Does it take keep sacking him? Man United are not Real Madrid. We're not owned like Real Madrid. We are not run like Real Madrid. Just like we're not run like Barcelona. We're not run like PSG or Man City or that. We've got an absolutely diabolical ownership hierarchy at top. No, and as Cristiano Ronaldo said, in my opinion, who's the GOAT, you're expecting miracles from Ruben Amorim. You know, now, at the beginning of the season, if someone told you guys, right, and I even reiterate now and I clarify now, if someone said you will be 3 points from 4th place, Christmas, right, would you take that? And I guarantee you this, regardless how the league is going, regardless about the ins and outs and nicks and crannies and stuff, most people would have said, I would have taken that. I would have taken 3 points from 4th. Now, obviously, it's up to us to capitalize on that. It's up to us to grasp on that. But people are not looking at the problems at this football club. They're not looking at the situation surrounding the football club, the context, the injuries, the players on AFCON, the 4 out of 10 window and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They're not looking at that, you know? It's ridiculous. Pep, he played with Pep. Donin, he played with Pep. They were together at the same generation, mate. I was there at the game in 1994 when they played together, mate. We lost 4-0 at the Nou Camp, Donin. Bobby, very true. Sacking a manager isn't going to help us going forward. It's not, mate. I would guarantee. I would risk my life to say that. He's done man for Sporting a bit shaky at centre back. He likes him, Ruben Amorim. He likes him, and he's been wanting him. He's been after, and he's demanded that Diomande. That's what it is. We should have a show called Demanding Diomande, all based on Ousmane Diomande. Absolutely. No. He's a big lad, and he's nurturing. Just like Lenny Orr, he's nurturing and stuff like that, of course. Big up my friend Sam Houston. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything's blessed. These content creators are not Man United fans. Their job is to make sure Man United never gets it right. Do you know what, Sam Houston? I didn't want to believe this before. You know that I didn't want to admit it. But you know what? I'm going to put my hands up, guys, and I say you're absolutely right, mate. I think a lot of them don't want Man United to succeed. And even the big content creators, a lot of them don't want Man United to succeed. Even the ones I've been backing, they don't want Man United to succeed. And their characteristics have been exposed this last few weeks. They would rather live up Arsenal's backside. And let me tell you something. Arsenal are a good football team. Okay? And I will give credit where it's due to Arsenal. They've done well this season. But nothing has been achieved. But will I live up Arsenal's backside? No, because Arsenal are a rival of Manchester United. And I remember it fresh in my brain about the historical rivalry between Manchester United and Arsenal. You know what I mean? The historical rivalry was huge. So I don't live off Arsenal's backside. I don't need to get bums on my channel. I don't need to have people who are 20 years old living in bloody America talking about standards at Man United, who are about 22, have never seen standards in their life at Manchester United, talking about what's right and what's wrong about Ruben Amorim. I don't need those sort of people to make myself look intelligent. I will always back myself, and I will always call it from myself and how I feel as a Manchester United fan. I will never, ever live up someone's backside to get more clicks and likes. I will never get a bum on my channel to make me look better at the end of the day. And this is what goes on in this content creation business. If you know, you know. Of course, big up, Sam. Zirkzee is a likable players, but we can't say he's someone who we should be selling. He's someone we shouldn't be selling. Big up my friend Tila Piatapi. Tila Piatapi. Big up yourself, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. I like that comment, mate. Very good comment. I agree. He's a likable character, but you know what happens in football, mate? Like nice people don't generally make it. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a nice guy. It's just like here, guys. Some people tell me, "Oh, you know what? Why did you say that about that guy? He's a nice guy." It's nothing personal. It's a footballing opinion. This is what we're talking about. It's nothing personal. They make it personal at the end of the day, guys. Absolutely. Big up Helge. I had to check out the Diamante from Leipzig who were linked with him earlier. He seems very, very raw and unpolished to me. Don't want us to do that. He used to play with Ruben Amorim, that's the thing, and did very well under Ruben Amorim, didn't he? Big up the inconsistency of many teams this season is distorting some reality. The inconsistency of many teams this season, the reality is what it is, mate. There's no distortion in it. We are where we are. We're 3 points from fourth place. There's no distortion in it. The Premier League will always be the Premier League. The Premier League will always be wide open from this day forth because it is what it is. And that is a reality, my friend. You know what I mean? Sal was saying Pep managed him. Someone was asking. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say Pep managed Stoichkov. I was talking about Bulgaria. You brought up Barca. I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Big up Mama Flossie. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you, of course. Pedro Goncalves would be a decent replacement for Bruno. Another thing, look, you know what I would say, Samuel? A lot of people have spoken about Pedro Goncalves. But what I would say is this, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Ruben Amorim doesn't produce youth and stuff. We could talk about Osman Diomande. We could talk about Koeman. We could talk about Jokeris. We could talk about Gonçalves, of course, guys. We could talk about Ignacio if we want to do that as well, guys. We could talk about Giovanni Quenda. We could talk about him as well, how Ruben Amorim doesn't develop any players. It's all a myth, isn't it, at the end of the day? Arsenal are scary. If you're scared of, like, for example, Barney the dinosaur, then Arsenal will be scary. But we're not scared of Barney the dinosaur, are we? So we're not scared of Arsenal. Scary Arsenal. Goodness me. You know who people who say scary Arsenal are? People who say scary Arsenal are people who cried when they watched the Titanic. That's what it is. Absolutely. Samuel, AC Milan Napoli needs a player like Joshua Zirkzee. I agree with you there, Samuel. Spot on. Very good comment. I still believe we'll finish fifth, but let's see if we can get further up. But let's look, Kenny. At the end of the day, it all boils down to Ineos, doesn't it? And, we know that it boils down to Ineos and how much they really care about finishing in this top 5 positions. And hopefully the top 5 will be a Champions League thing. We're only 3 points from fourth, guys. Obviously, Man United's inconsistencies, just like every single other team's inconsistencies in the league, is going to be an issue, But I think the most consistent will end up getting in the Champions League positions. And hopefully, what people also don't understand is this. Man United are pound for pound. And I'm talking about from the beginning of the season to the end of January, Man United, pound for pound, have had the most difficult start to the season, in my opinion. Pound for pound, the most difficult start to the season. The teams that we played. 40% of our opening 10 games was on teams from the top 4, for goodness sake. In January, we would have already played Arsenal twice and we would already played Man City twice. It's what we're talking about here, guys. You know what I mean? Marky Mark. Afternoon, Sal. Good afternoon, you legend. Hope you're doing well. How are you, my friend? Very good to see you, my friend. Neves would be a great stopgap. Big up, Sal. I think Neves will be a great stopgap. Absolutely. I think in January, if we manage to do that deal. And that deal is there to be done. That deal is there to be done. The deal is there to be done. Go and do it. Go and grab the opportunity. Go and get that deal done. Absolutely spot on, Marky Mark. And Man United seem to be resting around and sitting down, twiddling their thumbs at the moment. We got a week to the transfer window opens, of course, guys. Let's get it done, for crying out loud. Give me strength. We have to get these things done. Absolutely, Marky Mark. And hopefully Man United do manage to get that deal done. Man United are very interested in Ruben Neves. That is the kind of signing, if I was to guess right now, with a week to the window, that is the type of signing Man United would do, along with Conor Gallagher or someone like that. Those are the type of signings that Man United would be do. Hey, good afternoon, Yale. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I have been to other channels and it feels like I am at a funeral there. Here it's more real. We are not far away from the top. Look, Yale, can I just be honest with you guys? I know I'm being real because I'm real with you, this community, because I'm a real guy. I'm not sly and all that. And I'm not agenda driven, right? I lose my rag sometimes. I get my temper sometimes. But the only reason I'm so passionate and I'm so angry sometimes, and sometimes people call me rude. Some people, I want Man United to succeed. I am tired of the negativity. I am tired of the sinister, agenda-driven media and social media, whatever it is. It drives me crazy. I've had to turn off my phone sometimes, guys. I have to drift away and go for a drive sometimes, guys. I really like I did yesterday, and I lost my Wi-Fi and I couldn't do my stream. And this is what I'm talking about, because I actually want Man United to succeed. There are many people out there who don't want United to succeed. They don't want them. They just want to carry on this negativity train that's getting clicks, that's getting like, and ultimately it's getting this, isn't it, in their pockets. And that's what it is at the end of the day. I love all this community. I love every single Man United fan, real Man United fans around the world, guys. Yesterday, you know what happened yesterday, guys? I'm in Naples, right? I'm in Naples, Napoli. Here's the time right now, guys. The time is, 4:41 in Naples, guys. 4:41, right? And I went outside my door, my place, and there was a guy there. Guess what he was wearing? A Man United tracksuit, a new one, a Man United tracksuit. And I went like this on his shirt. I said, "Nice one, mate." And he said to me, "Who do you support?" And I said, he's speaking Italian, and my wife said, "Oh, he supports Man United. He's a big Man United fan. He's an old Man United fan." And he goes, he loves Man United, and it filled me with joy. Like, these little things. In Italy, guys, people are still supporting Man United. I've been here now 10 days. I've not seen a Man City top anywhere. I live in the UAE, right? Abu Dhabi, Man City territory. I've not seen a Man City top for love nor money until I go to Yas Island and I go near the club shop, which is generally empty most of the time, right? There's only one or two people in there. It's never jam-packed to the rafters. I don't see Man City fans. I only see Man United fans. Man United fans all around the world. And this is not the first time I've been in Naples and seen Man United tops and stuff like that, right? In Naples, Italy. We have no affiliation here with Naples and Italy. In fact, it's the opposite. Man United are Cristiano Ronaldo, Naples are Maradona, Argentina, and Messi. And this is what we're talking about, guys. Do you know what I mean? This is how big and how Man United transcend generations, because that guy there was literally 15, 16 years old. Right? And this is what we're talking about, transcending generations. This is what Man United are. And I care about this football club. It makes me happy when I see that. Because we're not, I look at it and I think, well, at least it's not a glory hunter. You know what I mean? And I look at new fans these days and I think, you know what? At least they're not glory hunters. I think the biggest problem within the Man United fans are those fans who started supporting Man United in 1999. Not all of them, by the way. I'm just saying most of them. 1999 when Man United won the treble, or 2008 when Man United won the Champions League double. And I think those people there started supporting Man United because they were successful. Now, anyone who's like 15, right now, or 16 or 17 or 18, can't remember when Man United last won the league. So that makes me happy that we do have other generations that are supporting Man United. And that's when I said this to someone the other day. I said it. We don't pick Man United. Man United picks us. Man United are in the blood. Man United are a real club, a spiritual club, and a club that needs to be looked after. And we don't need big mouths who just looking after their pockets to benefit from this football club by spreading negativity and stuff like that, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Jale. Big up, Bobby, my friend. Guys, imagine if the Glazers sell up this summer. Could be possible with the World Cup being in the US. They could profit from it too, Bobby. It could work both ways. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I would love that. Bobby, listen, my guy. Look, if the Glazers sold the football club, mate, I will be celebrating. I'll be doing an all-day night stream, guys. I will not be off this computer. I will be going through it bit by bit, celebrating. I will be so happy, guys. Absolutely. I'd rather remove my wisdom tooth than listen to other Man United channels. Big up, Kenny. Obviously, much love to KG, the comedian, and much love to these people as well, who I like and who I have respect for. Of course, guys, much love to these people. of course, who are not agenda driven. They're not, and they call the game based on love for the football club. I know that some of them don't have quite the knowledge and quite the background knowledge of Man United, but they love the football club and they genuinely love the football club. There are some people though on big channels who evaluate their opinion by what's the most important. So, for example, like I said earlier on, Kobe Mainoo, right? The Kobe Mainoo situation with the T-shirt, right? So if the majority of the fan base was saying, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that the brother did all right. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some of these content creators would go on the side of Kobe Mainoo. If it's the other way, say, oh, it's a terrible thing what he done. He should be removed from the football club. He should be sold. He should speak out against his brother and stuff like that. They'll do the other thing. They'll go with that. So they'll measure up the narrative about that. Some of them content creators, right? And some of them are massive content creators. What they'll do, they'll split out their opinion, what they really think. But as soon as they see the backlash, oh, I was wrong. I believe in that. I've changed my opinion. I believe in that. They will do something like that. And this is so very frustrating. Do you know what I mean? Does Manchester United need to sign a number 10 striker to play up front with Benjamin Sesko? I think they need more of an experienced striker, Semenyo, if I'm being honest, someone to nurture him, if I'm being real. If we do get rid of Zirkzee, we're going to need another striker. We've only got one Semenyo, so I think we're going to need another one. You know, I wouldn't put it past Man United to bring someone in who's experienced, who scores goals, you know, not necessarily young and stuff like that. Yale. If we can get 2 or 3 more players, our chances of getting top 4 increases by many percent. Absolutely. Either way, we will be supporting this team. Big up, Yale. Thank you so much. Absolutely. This is one thing we will be doing, guys. We can't get away from this because we're proper Man United fans at the end of the day. You know, we will be supporting this football team. We will be carrying on supporting this football team, regardless of what anyone wants to say, guys. You know, there were many people, guys, and I'll tell you like this, and I'm going to tell you the gospel of it, that took advantage of this content creation space at the right time. They got in it at the right time. But just because they got in it at the right time and they were the only content creator, Man United content creators, apart from Talk of the Devils, and I think it was that, you know, full-time Devils, was it? Yeah, that was it. There was only a couple of them, and then a few of them took advantage of the space. It doesn't mean that they are the oracle of football. Because at the time, they were the only content creators. And at that time, I was doing music. I was in the music industry. So what I would say is that just because they got big platforms and people got big platforms and big mouths and big platforms, it doesn't mean that they are the all-knowing, the oracle of football. It doesn't mean that. And that's one thing I would say. And I respect a lot of these people. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that. You know, it doesn't mean they know more than me or you. It doesn't mean that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. It's just that they came at a time, they were an opportunist. I speak to thousands of real Man United fans. I know thousands of real Man United fans. I have Man United fans who disliked me, who've turned and got to know me and talked to me on the level, you know, at the end of the day. I know so many of them. And, you know, they'd say it is it. They were just opportunists who took the opportunity and, you know, they're living from it and they're making a lot of money from it. And this is what they're doing. Guys, it's an act. Why do you think, guys, why do you think this? Why do you think after every single game, even when I'm in Italy, that Man United play, I don't come on there going, why don't I do that? Because I don't want to say something that I would regret down in line. I don't want to say something that, you know what, is going to come back and bite me. Sal, you said this about this person. You said that about that player. I like to calm down. And even in the morning, I'm frustrated and angry, right? But I like to calm down and I like to reevaluate things. These people don't, because they think, you know what? If I blow my top, if I get angry, if I say this, that, and I get a couple of sound bites in there, ka-ching, guys, ka-ching. That's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And this is what happens in this space. And I'm here to stop that. I'm here to stop that nonsense. You know what I mean? I'm here to stop the Man United money train of using Man United for clicks and likes, and that's what it is. Bobby, some United fans never say anything good about United. That's why I love Sal's channels. Big up, my bro, because he's very positive about United. I try my best, Bobby, even at the worst times, to do my best. And the thing is, right, when you love something, right, you know, it's very hard to say anything negative about something, you know. Especially when you know, this football club have given me some of the best moments of my life. You know, they have. Half of my life, 90% of my life has been Manchester United. And A lot of these people hasn't been. They pretend, but it hasn't been. I look at it and I think that these people, remember this, guys. This will clarify it for everybody. When the great Sir Bobby Charlton died, when the great Dennis Law died, none of them said RIP. None of them said, oh, Sir Bobby Charlton, RIP the legend. We got a stand named after him, for crying out loud. The great one, probably the greatest player to ever play for Manchester United is Sir Bobby Charlton. You know? Considering this guy was the Busby Babe, you know? And these people, unfortunately, they don't talk about these things. They don't want to mention these things. You know, I take Man United very, very seriously, to the point that I go on other people's channel and I would argue my point and I would bring up history, and they don't like to bring up history because they know that my historical level of football knowledge is greater than theirs, because I don't look at Google stats and things like that. You know, I actually call the game as it is. That's what I do, you know? I call Man United how I know without even looking at anything. I can look at you dead in the eye and I could talk about every single thing about Man United's history, right? From Newton Heath all the way up to this day. Without having to go, let me just look at that. You know, at the end of the day, I would love to get these people around the table. Rounded table, guys. Bring it on. And bring on some knowledge about Man United. Some home truths about Man United. About the birds and the bees. Did you know this? Did you know that? Did you know this? When people started telling me and they started preaching the youth thing, oh, it's part of our heritage. He's got to do it. It's part of our heritage. When I tell them since 1958, after 1958, during the 60s, at the back end of the Busby Babes, right? Man United only produced 14 elite Manchester United players pre-class of 92, post-Busby Babes. 14. None of them were world class. They were good. Some of them are greats. But we produced 14. So, all right, we always have a youth player on the bench. That is something we should be proud of. But what we do, we don't jump on the bandwagon saying that every single manager post Sir Bobby Charlton and, you know, has played youth players, has succeeded with youth players. So many youth players have failed, just like Kobe Mainu at Man United. And you know why? One of the main reasons why these youth players failed? Because they brought into the team too early. Huge expectations. The class of 92 came through because we had a nucleus of winners in that team. Right? When you're bringing in Kobe Mainu and you're bringing in Shea Lacy and you're bringing in Jack Fletcher, you know, and you're bringing in all these great players who for the future, it's more difficult for them to succeed in this environment, which is a toxic environment. You know, it's not a winning environment, is it? And this is what we're talking about. Big up, Marky Mark, my guy. Good to see you, brother. We are reasonable and passionate fans, but most of us have a football IQ, a good football IQ. Why are we? We are the best community. We are the best, Mark, and you're one of the best people. You know what I mean? I've come across. You're one of the most positive people I've come across, mate. You're absolutely amazing. And especially what's in your life and stuff like that. I really appreciate you, my friend. I really appreciate you every day, mate. And really appreciate that. And, you know, look, it's not about being overly zealous. It's not about being toxic positivity. But it's all, when we lose games, we call things as they are. When we don't agree with a football lineup, we call it as it is. We analyze things from what they are. That's what we do, how we feel. We don't analyze things because, you know what, I want to get more clicks today, and I want Man United. I want to get loads and loads of super chats and likes and that, and people laughing at me and all that. Guys, let me tell you something. Right, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a prime example. Let me give you a prime example. My good friend Hussam, who's a Liverpool fan, right? Big Liverpool fan, proper Liverpool fan, right? Lives in Jordan. Great guy, right? The brother, great guy. But watch when Liverpool lose and watch when Liverpool win and watch when Liverpool draw. When Liverpool lose, lad is viral, bruv. He's viral, bruv. He's viral. When Liverpool win, it's all right. It's good. Fair play. But Nowhere near as much as when they lose. And I tell you why. People from other clubs are going, hold that. You got smashed, you got cooked, you got this, you got that, clips, this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? This is why a lot of these content creators, they like to go with the negative narrative. They like to build something up so that people can go to them, hold that. Hold that. You know what I mean? Some people out here say I'm a proper Man United Liverpool fans, proper Liverpool fans, and it happens naturally because they're so giddy about it, but they're also honest. He's very honest. But obviously Liverpool were the champions last season and stuff like that. You know? And this is what we're talking about, guys. And this is why I bring up this. Sal is positive with caution, as everyone should be. It's perfect, not deluded, positive, but not toxic, negative. He gets it. Thank you, Hell. So do you. We may not agree on everything, but we all have the same common goal, don't we? We have the same common goal. We have the same goal that we all want what's best for Man United. We all want a successful Man United. We all want Man United to be successful. We all want that. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, Held, you legend. Love my bro. Samuel, Liverpool fans still want Arne Slot out because they preferred Jurgen Klopp rock and roll football. Jurgen Klopp built that team. Jurgen Klopp resuscitated Liverpool. He made Liverpool back. He gave Liverpool respect again in the Premier League, despite only winning one league. I would say that Arne Slot is doing all right. And I do think that they did jump the bandwagon a little bit in regards to Arne Slot. However, the amount of games that he lost was record-breaking. It was really bad. And I think he was literally a couple of defeats from actually being sacked. I really do think that. But in fairness to Arne Slot, and I'll be honest, guys, despite the teams that he's played, despite Tottenham and West Ham going down to 10 men and things like that, despite that, what I would say is that he's done well to come back. He's done well to come back. But this is the difference between Man United and Liverpool, right? Liverpool have a nucleus of winners in their team. This is why they won the league last season. They got players that won the Champions League. They got players that won the Premier League. Man United don't have that. We don't have that. We have Casemiro who's won a few La Ligas and Champions Leagues, but at Real Madrid. You know, we don't have any players who've played for Man United right now who have won things. Do you know what I mean? I haven't heard your opinion on Licho centre midfield cameo. What's your thoughts? Stopgap. That's it, Helge. I don't think we can rely on it. Look, I wouldn't mind Licho Martinez as a midfielder, you know, right now when we need him. But it's not a long-term thing. I believe, I think his dad said he's not a midfielder and stuff like that as well. So he doesn't have I think he's good. He's better than Bruno. I would say that because obviously he adds more balance in our team, left and right as well. My biggest concern about Licho Martinez in the midfield is that we lose him at centre-back. That's it. Looking how weak our centre-back position is, I get concerned when we lose him at centre-back because I think we're very weak in centre-back, Helge, at the moment. I think we need him at centre-back. We do. And the great thing about Licho Martinez is that he can bring that ball forward out of the back, you know. But it will be interesting to see Helge. I want him to come and prove me that he can play midfield. It'd be interesting to see going forward. You know, would you put a seasoned player like Casemiro, who's been playing centre midfield his whole life, Champions League winner 5 times, and replace him with Licho Martinez? I don't know. Maybe play both. Maybe play both and move Bruno up there. Maybe Bruno number 10 and play both Casemiro and play Licho Martinez in midfield. Maybe that will work. Until we see it, Helge, none of us can be 100% sure. You know. On a positive note, though, one thing I like, and I always like bringing positives, guys. One thing I liked about Licho Martinez's performance as a centre midfielder is his passing in between the lines, his tenaciousness, bringing that ball forward, his fitness. I know fitness with Licho Martinez is a funny thing, but his actual fitness and his passing was brilliant. And I think we missed that. And you know what was great? The great thing about Cunha, and one of the key attributes of Cunha over the last few years in regards to when he's played for Wolves, he thrives when people pass that ball on the floor so he can turn on a sixpence. So if he grabs the ball and turns quickly like that. Licha Martinez was passing Cunha those perfect balls, and I think that Cunha would thrive with Licha Martinez in that midfield. I really do think that. Try it. Thing is, at the moment, the biggest problem that Man United are having right now is that we got big games coming up. We got Newcastle coming out. We got Guimaraes and Tonali and teams are, in their midfield, and that's going to be difficult, of course, with players who played in that position their whole lives. It's difficult and it is a conundrum. But you know what I would say is that he who dares wins. Great managers make decisions. Great managers take risks, and you know what? And that's what I would say about that. Absolutely, big up, Helge. Should Manchester United raid Tottenham Hotspur for Jed Spence and Mickey van der Ven? I don't think we should. I don't think Man United should be spending a lot of money on defenders at the moment. Apart from Jed Spence, I like Jed Spence. I agree with Jed Spence, but Van der Ven, no, because Man United need to fix their midfield before they fix the defense. Like I said at the top of the show, the only defender I would like Man United to sign is Mark Gui on a free transfer in 2026. But Man United need to fix their midfield. You know what I mean? We've already got Mazraoui, we've got De Ligt, we've got Licha Martinez, we've got obviously Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro in the background as well. We can't stifle the development of Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro. We have to think about them. In regards to Jed Spence, however, yeah, all day long, mate. But it'd be expensive. English, isn't it? Agree. We definitely need Licha in the back. Shaw has been zero leadership towards the young lads in the back. Zero. Held, thank you so much for saying this because it's something that I wanted to bring into the show. Right. Basically, the criticism around Lenny Yoro, of course. Right. I would like my defenders who've been playing for Man United for 12 years, like Luke Shaw, to approach Lenny Yoro and say, Lenny, Rodgers, he likes to cut in on his right. Be wary of that, just to keep you updated, right? He likes to cut in on his right. Make sure you cover the space. As an experienced man in that back three, I expected Luke Shaw to do something. I'm not seeing any leadership from Luke Shaw. Some people said Luke Shaw should have been captain ahead of Dalot. Let me tell you something about captaincy. Captaincy is not necessarily about talent, as we know in Maguire. Captaincy is about this mouth talking, Luke Shaw didn't once speak to Lenny Yoro about be wary of Rodgers. Be wary of Rodgers. He's going to cut in on his right. Make sure he doesn't cut in his right. Keep tight. That's what great defenders would do to support the young lad. Hells, do you think it will be Ugarte and Casemiro in centre midfield, or do you think Licha will start? I think it will be Bruno and I think it'll be Ugarte and Casemiro. I would like Licha to start though. I would like. Happy holidays, Ricardo. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, my friend. Edison Alvarez, a former teammate of Lissandro Ajax from West Ham United, would make our midfield more stronger. Good player. Big up, Samuel. Even Heaven took more responsibility than Shaw, and he has played like 14 games for us. Shaw has been hiding, 100%. His performances have gone under the radar. How bad they've been. Absolutely, guys. Spot on. Guys, I want to thank everyone. You're absolute legends, guys, and the regulars and everyone who comes on every single day. I really appreciate you. Please, please, before I leave, please, I ask you, don't forget to smash a like. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to put your notifications on as well, guys. That will be very, very helpful to the channel. And I appreciate every single one who supports the channel. I really do, guys. Keep your notifications on as well in case I go live somewhere else. So keep your notifications on in regards to that. Thank you, everyone, again. Take it easy. Have a great evening, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Have a good one. Peace. And Helge, love my brother. Thank you so much, man. Have a lovely evening. And if I don't see you, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Have a great one, guys. Have a good one and take it easy, guys. See you soon. Peace.